Zeebzob podcast.
You are listening to the Zeebzob podcast, episode 10, brought to you by Goat Boy Products, makers of high-quality Pinewood derby tools. This week's special guest, me. And now, here's your host, Zeebzob. Hello, friends. Zeebzob here. Welcome you back to the Zeebzob podcast. This is episode 10. Last week we talked to my friend Scott Bartnick, so that one was a little deviation from the Pinewood Derby talk. We're going to get back to that today. We've got some results to go over. There's league races at PDDR, NPWDRL, and APR, so I'll go through a lot of those. Some other things we want to, first of all, mention, of course, is the board is zeebzob.proboards.com, the blog zeebzob.wordpress.com, and Twitter feed at Zeebzob. It was a short time frame between the last episode and this one, so we had no new Twitter followers. So once again, the Twitter bell remains silent. Okay, one other thing I want to mention to all you friends out there is I recently joined the Dollar Shave Club, and I am loving it. Friends, I am telling you, this is a fantastic way to save money, get some quality products out there. Now, Dollar Shave Club is not paying me, but I believe in this product so much that I am urging you to join. And if you do, and I'll put this in the show notes, but if you go to http://shaved.by, that's by, / lowercase b as in boy, uppercase V as in Victor, lowercase d as in Delta, uppercase O as in Oscar, uppercase Y as in Yankee. If you sign up using that link, I will get a $5 credit. So that's how I am going to be promoting this shave club deal. So I've shown the razor to E3. It's a pretty quality razor. If you guys are wondering, you may have seen the commercials. They're pretty funny. And I am tired of going to the store and buying, 4 blades for $15 or $19. Ridiculous. The blades I'm getting, it's the 4 blade. It's $6 shipped to my door every month. Like a new blade, I change them out every Friday. So awesome stuff. All right. I was contacted by Mr. BSB, Bandsaw Bill. Apparently he loves my cheesehead accent. I'm not sure that I have an accent. I don't think I do. I listen to the guys on the national news, and I think they sound just like me. I may be wrong, but yeah, I don't think I have much of an accent. Now, there is a definite Wisconsin Midwestern accent. I think we kind of drag out some of our vowels, like we say Wisconsin or Chicago. But other than that, I don't really know. Home, it's a real long, hard O. That's, I think, what the Wisconsin accent is. But then again, I've heard it all my life, so I don't really know. It sounds natural to me. So Bandsaw Bill has a son-in-law, I think he said, who's from the Illinois area. And he wants me to say a word to compare it to how his son-in-law says. And the word is carol. Carol, like Christmas Carol. Carol Brady. Carol Shelby. Does that sound weird to you? I'm listening to myself. I think it sounds normal. Maybe his son-in-law drags it out. Carol. Maybe he says it like that. I don't know. How else would you say it? I do know that there are some unique things around these parts, especially like Milwaukee. We don't call them drinking fountains or water fountains. We call them bubblers. Yeah, bubbler. That's right. And that's just something I've grown up with. The first time I heard somebody call it a drinking fountain, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Also, traffic lights or stoplights. We call them stop and go lights. And one other thing that's common, a lot with the old timers especially, is the yas and dares and days and stuff like that. So yeah, there, hey, stuff like that. And going up north there, hey. For example, this weekend I am going to a town called Fond du Lac. It's spelled Fondulac, Fond du Lac. The old timers around here will say Fond du Lac. So that's just one of those quirks. But at any rate, I don't, like I said, I don't know if I have much of an accent. Bill says he's got a Pennsylvania Dutch accent. I don't even know if I know what that sounds like, but I'll probably try to get him on pretty soon and just hear what that sounds like. Now, some of you racers, from the South, I may have a little trouble with. And a funny little story is I work for a company and I do, end user tech support. And for many years we had a plant in a town called The Rock, Georgia. And as you can imagine, they have a real thick Southern accent. And they would always, I'd answer the phone and they'd say, yeah, this is so-and-so from The Rock. And I'd be, yeah, like, no kidding. So anyway, one time one guy calls me and he says, he describes some problem he's having. And I said, oh, that's a real easy fix. All you got to do is this. And I start going into it. And he stopped me real quick. And he says, whoa, whoa, whoa. Y'all are talking real fast. And I just found it really funny. So I'm not sure if I talk fast or not. I know a lot of people think that I do. And sometimes I think that I go off a little quickly. I will try to slow down a little bit on these podcasts. When I listen to them, sometimes I think, what did I just say there? Because I may be flying through it. Okay, at any rate. One other thing I wanted to mention too is I've mentioned in the past that I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast. He had Joe Perry from Aerosmith on there one time. And as you know, Aerosmith is from the Boston area. And as they were talking, Joe Perry mentioned how he has worked real hard to get rid of his Boston accent. And Joe Rogan just busted him on it right there. He's like, no, you still got a Boston accent. If I didn't know you and I heard you talk, I'd know right away you're from Boston. And Joe Perry was actually kind of taken aback by that. He actually thought that he didn't have an accent. So I don't know, maybe that's the same with me. But it's kind of interesting when you hear the different dialects. I know that sometimes it's hard to talk to different people when they've got the accents, hard to understand. But again, like I said, I think I sound like people you see on TV and on the news. They sound just like me, as far as I know. All right, anyway, on to the racing stuff. Over at PDDR, let's take a look at these results. In the pure stock class, Pony Express TQ'd it. And then in the finals, Pony won over Knapp and Eastman. In extreme pure stock, looks like Hurricane would have had the TQ, but I think he got a DQ because his front non-dominant wheel was not legal for the class. So then it was Jukes, Groffey Racing, and Mercury. Jukes took the win. Over in stock, Jukes TQ'd it. Pony Express and Chance Racing also went to the finals, Jukes getting the win. Over in modified, Pony Express TQ'd it. Runners-up were Mercury and Pony Express, and again, Pony Express got the win as well as the TQ. Super Pro Mod, this is my class. I came in second to the Jukes. I thought I tied them at first, but looking back at the results, they did edge me out. And then again in the finals, I mentioned last week that I did have a real bad run and I came up short there. So Jukes won the Super Pro Mod. So congrats over there. Over to the NPW DRL Ice Series. The Basics Amateur class, Opa TQ'd it, but in the finals, my boy Fumbles, that'd be Tony V from out here in Genesee Depot, Wisconsin. He has taken the win on that one, so congrats over there. The Basics Pro, looks like Kinzer was the TQ with WK, QuickTime, and Derby Dad for Hire going to the finals. But looks like in the finals, WK came away with the win. So congrats, WK. All right. Street Stock Amateur. TQ was OPA, followed by Eastman and CHR Racing. Haven't heard of that. What's a new one on me, along with HMH, another new guy, it sounds like. And OPA took the win in the amateur street stock, so congrats to him. Street Stock Pro. Okay, the big boys. Skippy Kicky, Hurricane, Kinzer, and Hogan's were your top four that went to the finals. Skippy getting TQ and the win. All right, now we go to the Street Pro. Kinzer Racing, Hogan's Racing, Bullet Designs, Hogan's Racing, and Camcar were the ones that moved on to the finals. Kinzer getting the TQ, and Kinzer also getting the win. Chris Kinzer, you are incredible, so congrats. All right, Eliminator. These are the Razor Wheel cars. Bullet Racing, Kinzer Racing, QuickTime, and Hogan's were the ones that went to the finals. And Bullet Designs gets the TQ and the win. The Unlimited Group. Oh, boy. I missed out on this one. I came in 6th, but the top four that went to the finals, Kinzer TQ'd it. QuickTime Derby, Bullet Racing, and WK. Those are your finalists. And again, Chris Kinzer, winner. And then in the Street Rod, they only had the one round. And QuickTime Derby came up and won that one. He won it with a car named Baboom. Kind of proud of that because he asked me if he could use that name because he got it from that goofy little video I put on YouTube showing the wireless remote starter that I have, and at the end I said Baboom. So he liked that. He named his car after that, and BSB liked that as well. And he's the one that said that I should do some kind of a thing in radio, and it gave me the whole idea for these podcasts. So that kind of comes full circle there. All right, over to APR. Boy, this is going to take a while. They've got a lot of classes here. So in Awana, Runamuck Racing is the winner there. That's kind of his class. So he had the first couple of spots, followed by SNS and GS1. In Basico, Mr. Spacewalker, he took the win. Cool thing to note here, Mr. B Racing. That's Steve Breaker here out of Wisconsin. He comes and tests here. He had a real good run there. That's great to see because I know he's had some tough luck lately, and it's good to see him doing well. Cubby Pure, there's 3 cars there. We had Hot Wheels winner to Eastman and 3-in-1 Racing. The Door Slammer, shockingly, Mr. BSB, he won that. He's got some good Door Slammer cars, so congrats, Bill. SNS and SG3 were the next runners up. The Forenzi, the Forenzi class, I guess, is I believe that's how you say it, Forenzi. When I was out there, they told us how to say it, and if I remember right, it's Forenzi. But SNS Racing took the win, followed by Runamuck and GS1 for the top 3. Millscraft, Runamuck Racing, Mid-Atlantic, and Runamuck top 3. Congrats, guys. Mini Cooper, those are those short cars. Those are kind of interesting if you ever want to build something a little out of the box there. They're tough to do. NPWDRL had a shorty class like that one time, and I didn't know what to expect. So I built a car and thought it was running okay until I saw what everybody else was doing, and I realized how horrible I was. But at any rate, in Mini Cooper, GS1 Racing, that's Fast Freddy. He won that one, followed by SNS and the Gravity Mafia. That's a cool name. Modified. I know you're going to be shocked to hear this, but Spacewalker, Dale took first and second, followed by GS1. The MOG 2014 class, that was SG3 Racing, followed by J&J and Spacewalker. The Pro Pure Stock GS1 is the winner, followed by J&J, and then a couple of cars from Spacewalker. The Pro Door Slammer class, SNS Racing, GS1, and BSB were your top 3 in that one. Pure Stock, Hurricane. Boy, that guy's really coming on in the Pure Stock. So that's great to see him having success. So Hurricane followed by Spacewalker and SNS. The Rat Rod was Spacewalker, Sands, and GS1. Over in the stock class, and if you hadn't noticed, all these are listed alphabetically as far as the stocks, or excuse me, the classes. So that's why they're going out in this order. Stock class, Mid-Atlantic Racing, followed by SNS and GS1. Super Pro Mod, the class that only means everything. Okay, so that was GS1 Racing. That's Fast Freddy, followed by SNS. And then old Zeebzob came in third. I only missed second by 1/10,000th, but the gap from second to first was huge. It was, 2.5 milliseconds or so. So, Fast Freddy, you are the master of that class over there. So, congratulations. I'm hoping that you pull a car out to the Nationals. I'd love a chance to get to race you out there. The more cars that we have, and I focus on the bearing classes. I talk about that the most. But to get a win over there with guys that are represented like GS1, and if we can get Evolution out there, and Jukes, I believe, is going to be out there live, and of course Kinzer and QuickTime and Derby Dad and WK, all those guys. If you get all those guys in the mix, along with us guys from Wisconsin, Mario has been coming on strong. Of course, Ian is not going to hold anything back. So to get a win in that class with all those guys would really mean a lot. And if I won, I wouldn't stop talking about it. No, I don't stop talking about the win I had in 2013. In case you hadn't heard, I won it in 2013. Moving on. Super Pro Pure. That one's hard to say. Spacewalker, followed by Mood Swing Productions and Spacewalker again. And then finally, we've got the Ultralight Mod, SNS Racing, followed by GS1 and Cash. All right, so that is a wrap-up of all the weekend's racing action. Great events held everywhere. One thing has come to light over the last couple of days regarding the number of cars sent out there. The car numbers were down a little bit this month. That can be a product of many things. I think it's kind of a blip. I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about. But again, this is a business for those out there running the leagues, and if you've got a lot of overhead, you count on those cars. So whether it be people saving their stuff for the Nationals, I know in talking to Todd Meyer, E3, he has his good eliminator car and his bearing car. He's holding those back right now because he doesn't want to risk the chance of getting a broken wheel and shipping. Those cars are running good for him right now, and he definitely wants to have a good showing at the Nationals, and I completely understand that. He has been sending his backup eliminator along with his fat wheel car, the Street Pro. So, that's one thing to consider. Also, people may not have time or money right now. Things happen in life. That's just how it is. Also, some people get burned out. I totally understand it. My laziness, for example, takes over sometimes, and I fully want to build cars and send them in. I just never get around to it. I try to at least make the commitment of sending a car in, at least one. So, showing some support and sending out what I can. Lately, honestly, the thing that I've been really focusing on, just because it's so new and fun, are these podcasts. So, every day I'm scouring Amazon. What other toys can I buy to add into this little podcast? So it's ridiculous, but I'm having fun with it. Anyway, my personal feelings is that you shouldn't rely on the same builders sending a bunch of cars every month. We should really be out there cultivating new builders and getting them to send at least a car. I made the comment not too long ago in one of these podcasts that there's a lot of new builders out of Wisconsin, but really there's just a handful of them. The population of Wisconsin is over 5 million. I think it's like 5.7 million. And we've got like 10 builders out of Wisconsin. So if you look at just the Scout population, how many Scout dads are out there? They build one car a year and they have such fun with it that they can't wait till next year. They may not know about these other outlets of league racing, or if they do, they're really intimidated by it. What we need to do is really target that core group of people. Let them know that, hey, you know what? Yeah, racing with the big boys, you're probably not going to do well your first couple times, but you will improve so quickly. You'll get on these boards and you'll start talking to people. You'll start developing friendships with these guys, and your builds will improve greatly quickly. If we can just get a couple of people, if everybody out there could just talk to a couple of people, get 1-2 people to send in a car and get more builders. Do you know how crazy that would be? How much competition there would be? And it would be so much fun. If you look at it now, there's maybe 30 builders or 35 builders per league that send in cars. Okay. And then you get like 120, 130, 140 cars, whatever. But if you had, say, 70 builders, 80 builders, that would go so far into getting, getting these league runners, like the people that own the leagues and run the leagues. I mean, let's face it, they don't do it for free, which is fine. They give us the outlet, but it's cheap. It's $10 a car. And if you've got overhead, like John's got that really nice shop, that thing is not cheap. He needs the car counts, okay? Now, Terry's got it in his basement. He's got a great setup there. But, if it becomes more of a chore and it's not worth it to him, how long is he going to do it? Right now, it's great and fun and everybody loves it, but it's like so many things. After a while, if it's not worth the amount of effort you're putting into it, it kind of loses its luster. But if we keep getting new blood into it, that'll keep it going. I've got my wife's uncle. He's really into the model train hobby. And one of the things he says to me, though, is that it's kind of a dying hobby because there's no new people coming in. He goes to all these train shows, and every year the people are just getting older and older and older. He says pretty soon that hobby is just going to die out. There's not a lot of interest. And that is something I don't really want to see happen to Pinewood Derby. Now, the great thing is Pinewood Derby starts out with young kids as scouts, so we always got a fresh group of kids that get exposed to it. And they may not do anything with it right away, but then all of a sudden they become, 20-some-year-olds and 30-some-year-olds, and they have kids of their own. And then they build a car, and then they remember how fun it was and the competition. And then, next thing you know, they want to, build a car and see what it can do against other adults. Because let's face it, how many scout cars are actually built by scouts? Not that big of a percentage. Most of them are built by the dads. And, that's just an accepted part about it. That's fine. Kids help. But how much can a 6-year-old really do to build a car? All right, moving on. As you know, the Nationals are now less than 2 months away. So I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to be staying at the Hampton Inn, I believe. So when we go out there, again, I've mentioned it before, I'll turn on my Ustream app. I did a little testing with Scott Bartnick from the last episode. He was able to log in and see me when I turned the camera on. So I'm getting that going. Also, in case people forgot, because we did it last year as well, I have an app on my phone. It's basically like a GPS tracker. I turn that on, and you can follow me in real time where we are, on a map on our journey across, from Wisconsin through Illinois and Iowa and into Nebraska. And it's kind of cool. It like sends an update every 2 minutes and updates it on the map. You can see like where we are, how fast we're going. It was kind of funny last year as we were driving, we were getting messages from, I think even Derby Dad sent something, and he told us we need to slow down because we were doing like 85. But the reality is, the speed limit through Iowa there is 75. So we weren't really going all that fast, but so it was kind of fun, and people were able to track us, and I will definitely do that again. So, and I'll put the links out there on my board and in the show notes and stuff as well when it comes time to get people looking at that and interested in that. But I am hearing from a lot of people who are planning to go out there live, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty big turnout. Let's all try to convince QuickTime that he needs to do this Ustream app as well, so we can follow along with him. He's going to be carpooling with Down for Derby. I'm not sure if he's going out with John as well. I'm assuming that they're going to all ride together, but I don't know that for sure. But that should be a lot of fun, and they're leaving. I think they're going to get out there like Wednesday, from what I hear, I'm going to get out there Thursday with Goat Boy. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, moving on. A few weeks ago, I told a story about my dad, and some of you have told me that you liked it. And so I thought every once in a while, maybe I'll tell another story about old Willard. That was my dad's name. Now, my dad was, I mean, I loved my dad. He was great, but he wasn't the kind of dad that, he took me out in the backyard and played catch with me or anything. That wasn't his thing. He was, more of a homebody during the week. He worked hard. But then come the weekend, that was Willard's time to go out. He'd go bowling Friday nights and maybe out to the tavern on Saturdays and out golfing Sunday. That was just very typical for him. Just what I remember him growing up. So like I said, Sundays he would usually be out golfing, leave early, and go out with his buddies golfing. Well, now I've got a brother who's like 8 years older than me. So he got married young and he was out of the house by the time I was like 12. But he used to come over, him and his wife on the weekends and spend time with the family, whatever. Now, about the time I was like, I want to say 17, 18, 19, right in there, probably 18. Some of you may know I very poorly play the drums, but I play the drums. And I was hanging out with another guy who was also a drummer, and we decided to bring his drum set over and combine it with mine, make one really huge double bass drum kit. So my brother Scott was over, and I said, "Hey Scott, come down here, check this out." So I sit down at the kit, and I just soup, and all that shit, right? Well, what I didn't know is Dad wasn't golfing that day. He was upstairs sleeping off a hangover. So my sister-in-law is in the kitchen doing dishes. My dad goes flying through the kitchen in his underwear. Now, I'm downstairs playing the drums. All of a sudden, I see this bright red face come over my cymbals, and he's swatting at me with a bear paw, and he just says, "Give me them damn sticks!" And he grabs the sticks out of my hands, and I am just completely dumbfounded. I had no idea he was even home. He walks back upstairs, and as he walks through the kitchen, he throws my drumsticks into the garbage. So that's a good Willard story for you. All right, let's see. Upcoming races we should probably talk about. On 21st is PDDR of the 21st of March, I should say. 28th of March is NPWDRL. And I don't think APR doesn't have anything until the 18th of April. And then, of course, the 25th of April is NPWDRL. Glenn had originally scheduled his April race on the 25th as well. He didn't realize the Nationals were that same day. So I believe he's rescheduled them. I'm sorry about that. He's rescheduled it off of the 25th, and he indicated he's going to be at the Nationals as well. Looking further down the road, as I look at all the league schedules, as you know, a couple weeks ago I had a race here at the Zeebzob Speed Shop. It's a great time. Love having live events here, but I don't want to step on any toes of the existing leagues. So it looks like around October I may be able to do another race here, have the guys help out, and hopefully get another one of those really cool trophies that Ian is able to get made by his acrylic guy. We had a lot of fun, and if you missed it, that's fine. If you're interested in sending, hey, that's great too. Or if you just want to watch and hang out in the chat and talk to the guys while you watch us go. One thing that I do, and I'm not sure any of the other leagues want to do this or not, but I kind of like it. The day of the race, I just turn my camera on and leave it on so that people can tune in at any time and see what's going on, even if it's like an hour before the race. It lets people know where we're at, what we're doing. Because as a proxy racer, when you're watching some of these races and it's supposed to start at like 11 o'clock and you go turn on the feed at 11 o'clock, there's nothing. You check back at 11:30, nothing. If they just turn the camera on, then we just get live updates as they go. Now, the thing about that is, the mics are going to be hot, so you may have to watch what you say, but hey, if I'm listening and somebody says, "Oh, yeah, Zeebzob's an asshole," big deal. I'm a big boy. I can take it. And maybe I am an asshole. I don't know. I don't think I am. Some people probably do. But that doesn't matter. I mean, if I hear that, I don't really care. It's not the end of the world. So that's just something to be careful of. I know some people are very conscious of it and worried about it. Like, oh, what did I say? And who cares? If, if you say something, oops, and they hear it, too bad. People get over it. Other than that, though, I think that's probably going to be about it. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you all a joke, my favorite joke. I don't know why this came to me, but I was thinking about this today, and I thought you'd let all you in on it. So there's this guy, and a lot of you that know me have already heard this joke, but just shut up and play along. It's funny. There's this guy. He goes to the doctor, and he says, "Hey, doc, I've always had this high, squeaky voice, and I hate it. Is there anything we can do to fix this?" So the doctor says, "Well, let me take a look." And he's looking in the guy's throat. He doesn't see anything wrong. He says, "I'll tell you what. Let's just do a full physical on you and see what's going on." So the guy goes and he gets undressed. And as soon as he does, the doctor sees the problem. He says, "Oh, well, there's the issue. He says, your penis is too big." He says, "It's all connected. It's too much weight pulling down on everything. Your vocal cords are getting stretched, giving you a high voice." And the guy says, "Well, is there anything we can do about this?" And the doctor says, "Well, yeah, we can give you a penis transplant. It could give you something a little more average, you know." And the guy says, "Well, I don't know about that. I kind of like what I got." And he thinks about it for a few minutes. He says, "You know what? I hate this voice so much. Let's go ahead. Let's do it." So they schedule the operation. They get him something a little less sizable. And everything goes really well. So a couple weeks later, he comes back for his post-op visit so the doc can check him out, make sure everything is healing properly. And he comes back and he says, "Hey, doc, I got to tell you, my voice sounds fantastic. I love it. But I got to get my old penis back." And the doctor says, "No way, man. A deal's a deal." I love that one. I've been telling it for years. So at any rate, I think that's about all for me on this podcast. So this is Zeebzob signing off.